check, mic check. Good afternoon, everybody. Um, my name is Candace Craig.
Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Dolores Vicente. I'm the Director of Enrollment, and I will temporarily be the MC until Dr. Fowler comes up here. So we will begin shortly. Everybody's lining up outside, and once I get the green light, I will bring our medicine man, Mr. Jim Redhouse, up here, and he can begin singing for the processional. So, little housekeeping tools. The men's and women's restroom are outside in the hallway down the hall on the west side. And we also have them in the back, but they get kind of noisy when you turn on the fans. So we prefer everybody to go to the one by the bookstore, okay? And during when the graduates are coming in, the processionals coming in, if you can stand, please rise and remain standing until after the national anthem, okay? So they'll be coming in from the east side. Hello? I forgot to do one thing, the most important thing. Donan shlinigi ki ani shlo twai glini bashishin torjini dashche todasani dashanal tlot the sin goliada ayesuna shado koje di sosen dishkijna. Okay, if everybody could rise, Kwashi. We will begin. Okay, now I'm going to turn the MC back over to Dr. Fowler.
Ja, det alt hasse då. Skik skitne. Då analtro amado aja. Trodich dinslå nas extra pa pa shin. Tlisland da chedo ye etachin nationale. Kot the nensle. Thank you, Mr. Rayhouse. Everyone, please remain standing for the national anthem. I am honored to introduce Ms. Candace Craig, who will sing the national anthem this afternoon. Please remain standing to honor our nation's veterans and our Navajo Nation shoulders who are currently serving worldwide. Remain standing afterward for the invocation.
Yashko the disso e hayal kasbeden bada win go ade danat ai gonna hit melini no dos do beson de sons na baie traya but on honey go denly neje inda de pa nelini ahos ago banet neida but Nesi hazin Tone hada siltozen din Do she so pilsenilgo Danat aholado Nehekeya Bekaya God was your Nazli.
Thank you, Ms. Craig. Please remain standing for the invocation. Mr. Largo, will you provide the commencement's invocation?
Kode hojodo lil gote. Kodo hojodo lil. Ne hojodo lil gote. Na zan nan seil satahe nan seil nadi tahe. Kode hojodo lil gote yadilkil. Yut nazlei. Nikidiyade hojodo lil. Kode hojodo lil gote. Ziltigini zilnanet saanagwe bika hojun kode hojodo lelote tuistan kode hojodo lelote shneko ne we niyajen zu nshno yedeshin de kenasha ne kehinshna yedeshne hojo ye konshi ne sodezen be shabik ehnati nil shabik ehnane zado lel Nelch digini satinagay, tlatnagay na kitkhati nakha. Ashlado stando tosto sebi nakhay. Nast nizna tlatsata nakitsata nakhay. Allele aslay nagay nelch digini saanagay bikya hojun. Hojun do lehlot eko nike ada hazan hike honde dilkan hike hada inna. Ni sodazan higinda illeni. Tado shido hakido khana hotleli inda ko yahe khoeki des oze holyangi khoeki hanza holjeshe ta khoebe kya holyasle shijelinde inda ko yahe nat ani tan lego shije ko allaji sodazan khaininla Shije yai kwai lije ika kwai ge sodazan chiyos in ebik ako di kwai ultra ni nel ebik ako epeson lanichetet ago kwai ultra holya etat ni sanza anosel yat obenash ni to le ebzak ako ta hotza besodazan begin be ol ebik ako ta hotza ade nantin tin yolenige bendi yachot ago alcha holja dishi dikade yahe kom nakidemilo ba natin sa kunza holjish arona na khuji ko tselkedo chikedo ado amma tanlenido je tanlenige Akut ego kuji ko ulthanni ichi tati khasle enjon ko yat o ko yai otahol ato ndabat intinodo ado pitahi nilo le nasi khote jiji be yato inait ito le shipindiye akut ego jo pitahi nilo khahol jiz dekut ego yahe ulthaslago kwa allaji the administration dan lanigi allaji at seats in dan lanigi a here la yat on habetil yat o ko ya peson lani nhani den alchin otahos to otahos Yilda Lishito Yilkot Egoto Yilda Anigi Nana Kuchito Nana Eyahe Baal Khatan Lenigi da instructors and Lenigi Edo Yat Oko Nahabe Dil Toyat Oko Nahabe Kindati Lanjanago Chin Zalkej Kene Tado Ichihadzi Be all Ildo Ado Benantin Doikahin Nanik and Naganigi Be Naben Istage Janon Hayu His Nelsele Ado Kuchi Kota and Jan Leniko Ako than Jaco Hasens as you hold these Chiado Koba Halogo Ajato Alt Basala da Ilt Hasele Dik Adeya Heko Nakal Chinen Lenik Adeko Se built ego Rot Ago Otaho Nana that not el Thalio Lenigi Oltha Anadela Master's Program, Master's Degree. Satan Janago Eya Nikapedi Liton Janoko Benzikis Pitatina Pijeto in the Koyat Ekon Jano Otahodil Don Janoko Adol Leko Benabit Istagi Ikitati Tado Yahat Etanizi By this no banal so Janoik a Kadolil Hadi tan Janoko Hoi Chong Ebitit in an Speaky Chong Etabetit Ele Janoko Ho Yahe a illa dolil Janoko ye idolil Bendi ye Kagiko a Bahet needs it Bahe needs in Shall chinny that Satonan Hado Satovachahasi Ebik Echo Yo Basil Hozo Yoba Ahansen Ane that Zala Ashipi that it was a big into the Catholic in the year. Eben Junogo Shabkin Tassen Satolil Junogo Yat O Yahi but the Hozo Dola Ane Ultra Slada Ane Equiji Yala Nego at the hands and Kodola holds the story. But Mother Bezet a hollow il had jade a hollow massan but shake in also bigger hilt Ilana Catholic. What I said this seal Nelche dignis on a way because Hozo little so the Schnee Hojanasle 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 Hojanasle
Yeah, Mr. Largo. At this time, the president of Navajo Technical University, Dr. Elmer Guy, will conduct the welcome address. You may be seated.
Thank you, Dr. Fowler. Ado yate shikeisten de wan hano yagi. Ado kodo citizen behind zigi, Mr. Largo. Yeah. Ado Candace, it's always nice to hear your voice. Yeah. Don't end Schlenigi yet. Then is edge tapa. My dish Gijinia, Bashin. Tohit Lini Dashanale, Ado Torigini Dashache. I call Bart Jensen who had graduates, Baho Agi, their master's degree recipients. How significant is that? So we have 6 scholars that will be receiving their Masters of Arts degree in the net culture, language, and leadership. There's 5 today with us that's willing to receive the recognition in public. So before I start, there's a few people that are here that I'd like to recognize. I'd like to introduce the other Dr. Fowler, Perfilia Fowler. Would you please stand? Dr. Fowler used to be our HR director before President Nez stole her from us. And she's doing a wonderful job, I'm sure, as she did for us here. So I'm glad you're here. Shema, good to see you. We also have a representative from the Navajo Nation Scholarship Office here also. Ms. Kay, would you please stand? Yeah. I'm sure many of our students receive Navajo Nation scholarships through your office, so thank you very much for what you do for not only our students, but all the students Navajo Nation-wide. You know, I was thinking earlier about the degrees that we're going to be giving, about when I started school. I went to a little school called Cottonwood Day School. It's a day bureau school. My dad was a bus driver at the time. And they only went first grade and second grade. And then from there I went to Chinle Elementary School. When I went to Chinle, I don't know where they put me. They put me in some class, and then they moved me, and then they moved me. A lot of those students spoke Navajo. As a matter of fact, that's all they understood. And so they moved me to, I guess, 3-2 class. So the teacher would be telling us to do certain work. And my classmates didn't understand what they were saying, what the teacher was saying. And I know a little bit of English, so I would explain to them, this is what she wants us to do. And I get in trouble. And I write, I will not speak Navajo in class again. 100 times. And I miss recess. Maybe that's why my penmanship is a little bit better than maybe if I didn't write all that time. And it was like that back then. A lot of people spoke Navajo. We had a lot of medicine people too back then. And I think time had changed. And I think back to 1868 when the treaty was signed. Now there was a debate either to put education in the treaty or not. There are those that said, if we do that, we're going to lose our language and culture. And then there are others that said, I think it's going to be good for us. We're going to learn the white man's way. We'll learn how they live, how they do things, so we can protect ourselves. We can understand them better. So then the treaty was signed. There are certain things that happen. I think we all know. We know about the Bureau of Education schools, the bureau schools, where they took children away 9-10 months out of the year. I had relatives that went to boarding school up in Intermountain. And we didn't go because my dad worked for the federal government. He was a code talker, so that's why he was able to work for the federal government. And so we see them, they go on a bus, and then we don't see them till 10 months later. Until the Kennedy report came out. And that basically said, it's not a way to educate people away from their family members. They have to be close to home. So then they also had parochial school. They taught, not Navajo language, but they taught religious ways. And so we lose quite a bit of our language, I think, through those efforts. So what the Indian nations do, what do we do? One of the things I think that's a good move was to develop tribal colleges. Through this higher education tribal college movement, there's 37 tribal colleges, Navajo Community College being the first one. And so our job is to help maintain the language and the culture. So that's one of the reasons why we have this particular program. And so the Navajo Nation, what has Navajo Nation done to help in this effort? There's like with our Navajo Supreme Court, they develop a system where a peacemaking effort is part of our culture, and they practice that in the courts. We develop a bachelor's degree in Navajo language, culture, and leadership, the first one to do that on Navajo. The first master's degree here in NTU. We also train poll workers so that they can interpret those voting ballots when they when they go to the voting polls. They don't understand what Proposition 301 is. No one explains that to them, so we train people to do that. We train court transcribers. You know, the Navajo Nation Supreme Court, when the case come to them, and in that court hearing, when the records are kept, when a witness speaks in Navajo, the court is transcribed to say inaudible, so that document doesn't go forward to the Supreme Court. So we train people to do that. Some medical terminology in nursing. We're looking at terminology for the survival guide for police officers. And there's probably a lot more that we should do. But this is just a little bit of what needs to be done. And so I think that's why we're really happy about our graduates. We know you're going to continue to help what we're doing even better, to help us move some of these things forward. The Navajo Nation lacks a curriculum development center. Although we train early childhood teachers today, those teachers are prepared how to teach Navajo language, Navajo culture, but we really don't have curriculum materials to help them. We need that. And so we've done some, there's a lot to do. The tribal colleges, we all work together. One of the things that the tribal colleges formed is what they call a World Indigenous Nations Higher Education Consortium. They call it WINHEC. And these are other countries, Australia, Hawaii, Alaska, Canada, Taiwan, Norway. They're all in it together like what we're trying to do here. They have similar issues. They're trying to keep their languages, their culture, their way of knowing, their way of doing. And so we're working with other countries today. And we need to continue to build on those type of partnerships. I just wanted to also thank the people responsible for this program. And like Dr. Wesley Thomas, Dr. Henry Fowler, Dr. Jennifer Wheeler, and many others. The late Paul Patero. Would they please stand? See, these are the ones that, and then Mr. Largo, these are the ones that are doing the preparation of our master students. Could you please stand, please, so you can be recognized? In closing, I just want to say thank you to all of the staff at NTU, our provost, our deans, our vice president. They're the ones that make things happen, and they expect a lot from our graduates, and you probably know what I'm talking about. And the other person I'd like to thank is our board of trustees. We have our board chair, Mr. Tom Platero, and then the vice chair, Dr. Gray Eyes, Gloria Grant, Dr. Caroline Thomas, and I'm gonna forget our student trustee, and then Rosalind John, our trustees. And then we also have our commencement speaker here with us on the podium, Mr. Lorenzo Jim, a counselor and and also traditional healer, a medicine man. So and we also have Raymond Redhouse. Mr. Redhouse been with us for many years and really helped the university grow to what it is today. And I'm glad he's here helping us again today. And then I'm really honored to have our nomination president here, Jonathan Ness. You know, the president, I always call on him to invite him to our graduation, and he's attended every single one of them. You know, I was kind of worried about today's event because I didn't give him much time to let him know, but he is here. Mr. President, thank you for being here. Yeah. With that, thank you for this time. And our faculty are here, and everyone that's on. Thank you very much.
Next is our commencement speaker, Lorenzo Jim. Please come forward.
Thank you. Although I want to say thank you as well to for the time to be here today, for the opportunity and to be a part of this journey for graduates, as well as thank you to the invitation for the school, the institution, as well as all the distinguished guests and our leaders here today. So yate she tsanaha bislinshle ashihi bashichin twohe glini da shitche but ani da shanale ado in the BLD lassen le de ade istelo ade shagan kan ade kehste Ado it is not paste ade ishiyaho so. So that's who I am. Ado a little bit about my work, and I feel like this ayo and see can't sigita the neck culture, language, and leadership. Ado ayo ba ahwinzen. Ado yo chana ahwinzen as well. Just thinking about, I guess, the inspiration, what brought you this far, what your culture did, language, and then as well as how you were taught, the graduates. Although my work is an integration as a licensed therapist to creating how culture can create and make an impact in modern time in healthcare, legal systems. So creating, for example, the very first Native American cultural care chaplain position at the University of New Mexico Hospital, as well as integrating into our drug court program culture as treatment, and as well as other things. Also, I'm one of the commission members on the Alaskan American Indian Native Affairs in Albuquerque. One of my aunts was teaching the Ned language. The first graders, although they were repeating after her, the horse. Although the no, although kick at the it's a sheep. Although go liji, go liji, it's a skunk. I see there's a little boy in there. It says, no, Miss Ashley, it means go outside, go to the restroom, go liji. So when we talk about integration and infusing, sort of bridging together in maybe in language, but bridging the worlds together. They say long ago, when maybe in the early 1900s, like a Model T, they used to say, when you saw a vehicle, so you looked away, the baby. Although when the vehicle left their home, they used to break a piece of gud and then erase the tracks. But today, do we say, and one time my daughter in Albuquerque, during Gathering of Nations, she was counting 1, 2, 3. I was wondering, what are you counting? She says, all those feathers hanging off of the rearview mirror, that's what she was counting. And then I asked her, why do they put that on there, you think? She says, maybe for protection. I said, yeah, I think it's because you can't afford insurance, I said. It protects us. Ado chine, yenji do de dandan ejen, le ayashtene le baanj ajdo bijil chita, jaje hutigin bahastke, not to touch an egg. Ado het ashe hohodolte. But today, thinking about integration, thinking about these sort of bridging, maybe you order, maybe scramble, an omelet, over easy. So it's how we adapt. So thinking about this, the value and the art of integration in modern times, sort of in our generation. So the value of the culture in language and integration. I think about the work that's the creativity, but as well as the value of what you're going to be doing. In nihe ol ihigi, nihe zadigi, ado ko nihe nahatagi. I was in the hospital as a chaplain at the University of New Mexico. One of our relatives was there in an accident in the ICU. Shema, I said, Shema, aha anjne. Although I noticed that thinking, that integrative thinking, it's a hodigen go has koem shema. Then that IV bag, it to alkhanash chin to biyash. Although benest keep it that to it all. And it's helping you. Although that oxygen in her nose, it beendet zihigi, ilche bahajonigi it, ilche digini, enik enahasha. And then those lightnings, I guess you could say the monitors, eating it, this eating it, those eating it, so eating it, sagay nihik enahasha. Oh, then send all the shema. There's kind of oh. So again, that integration or the value of sort of looking at it through that the culture, the language, the leadership. It has its value and a place. I mentioned acknowledging how you were inspired, what inspired you, your culture, your language, as well as leadership, what that means to you. Imagine a six-sided hogan. I don't know if you could see that. The window faces the southeast. I was about 8 years old. Eshamasane bitna cheye ebitna ashinde banash cargo. I saw my grandmother would close the door in the morning. I thought she'd go outside. One time I was wondering, where is she going? So I stood up at the window. I looked out. There, this is it. She was standing there talking. And the same way, real quiet. Although in the evening, she would do that. But she would do it in a way it was private. And I think about leadership, the thinking, how you would say the power of that, what it creates, the movement that it can create. It's, we talk about there's something there, it's healing, it has its own leadership once we sort of integrate it or initiate it. So going through this journey today, this recognition, and then also your continued journey on how your degree, it's again, ayo and si'il kes, ayo ba aahuinsen. My father, Mr. Redhouse, about 10 years ago at our clinic, it's an urban Indian health center, as one of their directors there, we were going to integrate using culture as treatment. The Net Association, I wanted to get a resolution. Although we went down there in Kayenta, oh, you, And some of them aren't here today. Although I spoke up, in healthcare, the work that we're doing in education, in using culture, using language, using this leadership. Although Hoan Ichnaol Watlo, Shijabel. I said, Shijab, Ile, Behasde, Ile, what I shared, I asked him, he said, I remember his response. I said, he says. In other words, I don't know, you're the one speaking it. I guess in that moment, this was my father's next words. He says, Shiyaje, Eolye, Ahonan Tinjile. Means, my child, you become your own teacher. So what you say, what you've learned, that's how it is. It has its value. That was the best validation, I guess I could say you could get, that you're doing good. And I appreciate, again, I guess you could say in this work, whether it's education, healthcare, legal, but the platform of using our own language and culture and leadership, knowledge, our skills and abilities, it's a step. So you're my allies today, and I look forward to hearing more about your continued work and successes. So,
Hela, Mr. Jim, Koto ein Taskhagin Habich Heinzi, do Hanet and Lenigi, Astrobakin Jagade, Bohojosh Aslashalchen, the Yego, the Nebezado, Nebe or Insligi, Nihi Yido, Hashin, Sogota, or Saeba, Lahojonko. So we are very proud of our students here at Navajo Technical University. This is the only program that I know of globally that has a master's degree in Navajo culture, language, and leadership. So thank you, Mr. Jim, for enlightening our students to be holistic thinkers and to consider that every element of nature is sacred with the spirit that you will take and to move forward with that spirit. Next, the President of the Navajo Nation, Jonathan Nez.
All right, thank you, Dr. Fowler, and thank you, President Guy and Board of Trustees. Good afternoon. Hatkali, Nahan Lenigido, here, Kudoshi, citizen Behainzi, do Jonaso Netniji, citizen Bayel Titla Anil Scotineni Tlini. She a she ain't Schlido, Tratnesani, Ebashes Chin, Twidich Eatney, Edash Chedo, Tachini, Edashanella. So, good afternoon. I apologize for being tardy, Danitha, our college students. You know, we got a lot of rain, huh? The blessings. We prayed for rain, and rain is here. We didn't ask how much the rain is going to come down. That's where we might have to reevaluate when we pray for rain next year, because it all came down all at once, and there's a lot of roads that are washed out, and you know, people getting through these tough times. We need the rain, though. We need the rain. And that's what we were dealing with, as well as some missing and murdered indigenous women advocates that walked. You probably heard LMA Bigay and her family with supporters walked from Little Water all the way to, Sweetwater. Is that right? Sweetwater. All the way to Tsarakan, over the mountains and into Window Rock. And we welcomed them to the nation's capital, heard a lot from them about their needs of finding our relatives. So I do apologize. I kind of snuck away, so don't tell on me, okay? But congratulations to the NTU Skyhawks. Let's give our class of 2021 a big round of applause. School administrators and board, and as well as our professors, our faculty, every staff that works for Navajo Technical University, thank you so much. Let's give our faculty a big round of applause, please. Supporting our graduates and getting that master's degree. And those of you that are listening on NTU Skyhawk Radio, good afternoon to all of you. I know Skylar is up there. Good to see him. And Kyler, I'm sorry. Skyhawks, I thought named that like. You might as well just change your name there. Make it Skylar. No, I'm just kidding. Well, thank you, Kyler. And then all of you that are here, let's give them a big round of applause as well. You know, getting a master's degree is a big achievement, especially when you get your master's degree in your home university, Navajo Technical University. It's got to be commended. And as I was talking to President Guy here, I said, do you have a PhD program? And he's like, give me the green light. I think that's what I heard. So we're all going to sign up in the PhD program, okay? I'll join you for that. But we're looking forward to, you know, many things more out of NTU. This is homegrown university. Our keynote speaker, Lorenzo Jim, our commencement address. Nahallen hajala ho olte winzinchi. Sai dahatne. Nye ol iltoni na antina bedawil zahtiche. Eda zibnina. Kon khalchinin da khegi. O belaganek echigoda. Deikha. Akondek Diko Navajo Technical University has aje ashon. Nihina antindon his nye ol iltandi. Nasiti. Sheba Henson, Koron Halchin da Istragi, Kade, here old Iltoni Nantin, but better husband. You know, not to say anything wrong with the outside education, but here you're engulfed with our way of life teaching, our culture, our tradition, our language, our family, and our friends. Some of us had to go off the Navajo Nation to get our education, including myself. And then we come back with that education. And most of the time, that education is not our own, right? And then we come back here to the nation and we try to apply it. And we hit a wall. Why? Maybe it's because it's different than our teaching here on our Navajo Nation. You know, I struggled. I'm one of those that came back, wanted to change the world, right? With my degree and try to apply all these teaching, and it didn't work as much as it should. But applying our way of life teaching to that, learning, you know, that's where change can happen. So young people, graduates today, let me challenge you. You know, I like the philosophy of education printed here. This is our strategic planning. You know, those of us come back and we say, we're going to do some planning. Let's do the SWOT analysis, right? SWOT, strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats. And then we put our minds to that. Next thing you know, it takes a back seat, that document. But here we have a holistic approach to planning, right? Thinking about things. And then also applying it. You apply that teaching. And then you move forward. After the application, you self-reflect on it. After you self-reflect on it, it starts all over, right? You get new ideas, you get better ideas, and it's a cycle. That's what I love about our Navajo wellness model. I use this, matter of fact, in governance, and it helps me to lead a nation like the Navajo Nation. And I know that you all have learned much in our way of life teaching to encourage and to inspire our Navajo people. And I'm looking forward to, you know, having you be a part of this change that's happening here on the Navajo Nation. It's about nation building, bringing our people home, keeping them home. Even though with the little infrastructure we have, it is upon us to build that infrastructure. You know, Angelita Darwin from Black Mesa, you know, everybody knows the best tasting mutton comes from Black Mesa, Arizona, right? Oh, we got only one woo. Jennifer Gross from Mitten Rock, New Mexico. Our former Miss Navajo, Rhonda Joe. Tyler Tinhorn. I see Albert Tinhorn here as well. I know Albert ever since Kayenta, Denahotso, and then Chilchimbito. Congratulations. Leslie Sosi, as well, from Standing Rock, New Mexico. Congratulations. And Myra Tuttle, is she here? Yeah, from my hometown, Shanto, Arizona. Congratulations, graduate. And we're so proud of each and every one of you. You know, I'm not going to take too long, but I just want you to remember, too, that, you know, you all persevered. No other class has gone through something like this before, right? Going through a pandemic. You are role models. You are an inspiration of how not to quit, how not to give up, and move forward to achieve your goal amidst a pandemic. Man, we were scared, right? There was so much uncertainty out there. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen? It's because of each and every one of you. We were once the highest per capita COVID positive cases, daily case counts in the country. Remember that last year? And guess what? Now, today, ladies and gentlemen, we are #1 in the world of fully vaccinated people here on the Navajo Nation. And it's because we listen to our leaders, we listen to our public health experts, we listen to the folks that are here, that are on the stage, and those behind you. That's how we're getting through this. Because of the same resilience our ancestors went through, the strength that our ancestors have going through the long walk and all the way to today, we know we're going to beat this pandemic. It's because of each and every one of you helping one another. And these graduates are going to be going into the field. They're going to be our modern day warriors and lady warriors on the front line of this pandemic. Give them a big round of applause, because it makes me feel better knowing that a new generation is coming right alongside us to fight off these modern day monsters, right? We heard these things before. Suicide, depression, alcoholism, drug addiction, PTSD, you also have COVID-19, but we have the armor and the weapons to fight these monsters off. And that's knowledge too. And let's not forget the wisdom. Because there's two different things. Knowledge is what you learn from the faculty and from your leadership here. Wisdom is also very important because it comes from your family members. You can accomplish great things in life knowing where you grew up and also what you learned in the classroom. That is power. That is power to change yourself, your family for the good, and also for your community. And don't forget the change in the future for our Navajo Nation. So God bless you. Congratulations, class of 2021. And thank you so much. God bless our great Navajo Nation. Hiela.
Thank you, President Nez, for speaking to our commencement address here. Tyler and Tinhorn and I, we go back to Red Mesa High School. I graduated from NAU with my math degree. I didn't know where I was going to go. There was a small clip from Navajo Times, and it said, high school math teacher, Red Mesa High School. That's where I met Tyler. It's really nice to see students grow and mature as they develop. So welcome. And I met these fellow students that are right in front of me at the Law Advocate building. Remember that? 2 years ago? Seemed like it was a long ways, but it's here. Time for hooding, Shema. Provost, Dr. Bowman, Shanale, Dr. Wheeler, Ado Sheteje. Come on up.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that. Graduates, you've come to the best part of this ceremony. So we're going to go in order of the program. Our first graduate, Angelita Darwin, Black Mesa, Arizona.
Atona ejelinik e twadichi ni nele ashin yashchin ashche etabache tanahapelni dabanale.
Her escort is Michael Aragon, her friend, and her program, her thesis is Healing with Navajo Zithnot, a study of how traditional mountain tobacco bonds sacredness and spiritual wellness. Congratulations, Angelita. Our next graduate is Jennifer Grass from Mitten Rock, New Mexico. She is being escorted by her husband and her son.
Sa te kona te ejit ila atona ejiline ke ekile ni jille trapa he bajishin na kaide ne atahache ashin he hanale ne ska egi na hasan betis be ni hizat na hidilnal ni hizat ni hitza lako atza dot a kuije lako an niligi nashka.
Congratulations, Jennifer. Our next graduate is Rhonda Joe.
Teneta, there's ahe benashi te elchilchadne edo te bena o kahe holye betchagi ke hajit ila edo ne ejilinigi ki ya ani jille to ahedlini bajishin betahni dahache tachini dahanale.
She is being escorted by her mother. Her project or her research is embrace the power and demonstrate that preservation of our Navajo language begins at home, an action research study. Congratulations, Rhonda. Our next graduate is Tyler Tinhorn. He is being escorted by his mother, Barbara Tinhorn.
Tena hot sode ajit ila adone ajilini e kohni ni jillon to khana bajishin na dalt oze dahache do trapahe dahanale.
Tyler's research is infrastructure and innovation, a study of how hemp can increase economic development on the Navajo Nation. Our next graduate is Leslie Sosi. She is being escorted by her mother, Alberta Arviso Smith.
Sa e ahate ejitila atone ejilinige ashi hejilon to hetlini bajishin sana hapelni da hache hogan flane da hanale.
Her research is I Will Do More, a closer analysis of Navajo matriarchal cultural roles that define Navajo women leadership. Our last graduate is unable to attend the ceremony because she did what all of us want our graduates to do. She got a job. Woohoo! Our last graduate is Myra Tuttle, and she's from Shanto, Arizona.
Sha tohate ejitila atone ejilinige to hanijilon nahlane bajishin bit anida hache do nahlane da hanale.
Her research was titled Scorched Earth Campaign, a study of social injustice and its genocide of Indigenous America.
Thank you, Provost Dr. Bowman and Shadeja Sharon Nelson for reading out the master thesis of these students. They put a lot of effort into their work. Next, our Vice Chair, Dr. Gray Eyes. Could you come forward, please?
Yat e shalchene, doldoshi naha henitsanda. I remember the day that I got my master's, a relief, but we have 134 doctoral Navajo students, at least those that we have documented that have graduated. I'd like to see you add to the numbers. Yat e Shea Dolores Gray Eyes, Dasha Janido, Twitchin in Slotwachana Pashin, Aronana, Kitlachini, Dashanalado, Leslana Dasha Che. Kodo e Nika Dilwach, no ye, the border regions, Western Agency, Tratasatag, Ade, Sostanaha, Ko. President Dr. Elmer J. Guy, members of the Board of Regents of the Navajo Technical University, and I have the honor to present the candidates for the Masters of Arts degree in the culture, language, and leadership. Having met the requirements for the degree as required, Navajo Technical University considers these individuals for the degree as presented by virtue of the authority granted by the Navajo Nation vested in the Board of Regents of Navajo Technical University. I hereby confer your degree and declare you fully entitled to all the rights, honors, privileges, and responsibility. Graduates, move your tassels from right to left and face the audience. Say thank you to your families, relatives, friends, and guests. I present to you the 2021 graduates of the Masters of Arts degree. Congratulations.
Thank you, Vice Chair, Board of Regent, Shate, Dr. Gray Eyes, and congratulations. Ado Shama, the Provost, Dr. Bowman, Shanelle, Dr. Wheeler, they will do a congratulatory remarks to our graduates.
Dr. Colleen Bowman deshijine nasht ejidenshle tachini bashishchin tatnastani deshiche batatni deshanale dikwat awas zanenshle. Today is a very, very good day. Master students, your new academic degree will lead you towards a myriad of career opportunities. The skills, knowledge you have gained are needed to improve the Navajo Nation. Not everyone can get a master's degree, and you are to be commended for your tenacious spirit. Your commitment to learn, to engage with self and with others sets you apart from other students. The development and completion of your thesis adds to the limited bank of knowledge of Indigenous information, Indigenous Navajo research. Personally, your master's degree increases your credibility. It increases that credibility and is a measure of your worth as an academician. You are a content expert in the research that you conducted. People will be looking at you to give them the guidance in the areas that you studied. As I reflected yesterday on the last leg of your journey, I remembered what Calvin Coolidge once said, all growth depends on activity. There is no development, physical or intellectually, without effort. And effort takes work. That's something that I know you students actually had to roll up your sleeves and put your minds to work. There were all-nighters, there were rewrites, there was the stress of the public defense, there was the wondering, why did I get in this program? There was the times when you cried tears, sitting with somebody saying, why do they say my work isn't good enough? Why do I have to rewrite this? It's all part of the process, and you have navigated that well to the final rewrites and the final edits of your work. The challenges were part of the process to become a master student, and today you are reaping the benefits and the accolades from your focused effort to get this degree. So I want you to do something today. I want you to take some time to celebrate this particular milestone. Celebrate it with your family, your peers, your faculty, and the NTU community. We are proud of you. We hope that you will continue to be lifelong learners as you are now the role models for others. Thank you to all the family, the friends, the faculty, staff, administrators, and board members for helping the 2021 master graduates earn their academic credentials. Continue to be safe, everyone, and to remember, graduates, Navajo Technical University is always going to be your home. Thank you and congratulations.
Dr. Bowman. Ado yate ade nakano yahagi do konzache ne naligi she ya yode ne enshle ado kenya ani da shedo da shedo thodicini da shenale dag halana holiede yesiste akonde kaige tsaga hotzonike yake hashtido ade shetla adro koje akodi kaige ya shaltra ado edi ndaistagi ayego bel Bellenshish, Atlanzenigo, Ado Eba Hinsen, Ado Eya Konzache, Eya Heda Silzid, Ado E Hitten da Shildnish, a Kobelagana Echego, Yadel Tit, Ado Balagana Bazajigo Eya, Yadel Tit da Sidli, Ado Be Elche, Do Waltragi, Ajigot Eya, Ara Del in Holland da Sidli, a Koeshe, Benina Eya, a lot e ba iltra do a e belagana bazad e ya yesi ben ansthin a ko hot ende e ya anichin hizad e yesi she alsa shizad do shlle do be inst at a kuije e do e ya a alcha ben ansthin benina e ya di kaige njano e ya nalsos da yila do nalka ninigi da yila a ko e yoba a hansen a don jinago e yan dashnish do nalsos e hade dila a ko a jashi shit nada di chon do shit banda hachi ho na shi jinde benina ni e ya e do di kaige njanago eta ila do beke sazigo e njano da ila ko ba a hansen do shliat e ako a heha njanago e ya dashin tsagon hits ado da hot ado e nasko be da not e do lel ako e hot e nacha ba konizi adon hik e dan lenigi do ni hido heha konzache e ya dit a kodo ka Navajo Tech University hod yege e yan njanago e da iltra do dashin tsago e ya oho a lenigi e yan de dilla Adon hibal trada ni lenigi do ben benani tragi she dan tsaga e ya nas yo lechto ye eto lech. I really appreciate the collaborative effort that we shared and gave to each one of the graduate students here today, including Myra. Myra, if you're listening, we're very proud of you too. I'm sorry you can't be here today, but all 6 of you, I'm very proud of you. And I want to recognize the IRB committee. And I see Dr. Abaraji here, who really provided some guidance. Dr. Bowman, Christine Reedhead, Dr. Peter Romine, Scott Halliday, Sheena Begay, Thomasita Gray. And I also want to recognize the Master Thesis Committee members. I see Dr. Diana Mellett. Can you stand, please? Diana, thank you very much for helping us through the thesis committee work, as well as during the writing symposium. And everyone else who really helped, our librarian, Mark, he also presented and shared a lot of information about research. And there are many others I'm not calling here, but we want to thank you. Dr. Peter Romine, thank you very much too for your support. And everyone else on the call, Dr. McLaughlin, Dan McLaughlin, Chelsea Bunn, Lola Nate, Dr. Andrew Escudero, everyone who helped these students get to where they are today. Sago.
Jonga and this is the largest class master's degree, Navajo Technical University. Congratulations. Thank you for the congratulatory remarks. We will now have a benediction. Please stand for the benediction. We are delighted to have Mr. Jasper Pablo provide our benediction.
Yate alce adher desi cheya Jasper Pablo aro hashlisi nislo aro haskanzo evasishin ako tuotlin dasi naked national out eya talke nisla hike aka each and everyone tolos nakata tolinda yodet kas ein taskas behata not aro kudusnant ado aka to Siciliano, Mass, Akia, Kagi, Ea, Kuniala, a Kohodo, that's not Kagi, Akia, congratulations to the Halego, had got zero, Beta Osla, a Coco Hotela, those it's a little, Mr. Largo, Teresan Bay Ainla, Aro Kudabishan, Nahojianle, Anil Koshi, Ani Teresan Holo. Don't hit all a in so case and late or late, but edo late. Could they hojondo late, Nahasan Shama, Nahasan Vakado, in Johanades, Yadis Gishitra, and the hot argo con Johanna Ebony Gate is lie, Ojongo yet called another destination lequagi, no carbo car is also holy, called Nalchin, ne way, Niazdan law, and so you had that the ea be ultra lenigi oho le be all in lenigi don the tacodo and janago yeta ilagi because ago neje hos aho ye that edole tsada ye hashina large pense case and lenigi do peneto and the tabe all in lenigi hashina large code ye illa nsa case be hatet and the nahata and the other in to sahasan Dide ye hashin tsugo ye hitezla ebe en jonogo kondo aden lego poma beje en the bahastrile when the ade kondo bechefen nalele and the big aya at the nenigit ego hot and shawe was the bend and hago shimpe and edole was at the bain not only hard the shimpe has dotle digit ego hot nijon goshi haton sogojon latobe aya big nazon yeta illa hashne shiyaje shawe tila hot edole Nejet nana dole beheto neda il and leshit yen lene. The Latingos and be open card conses not genesods. Togo street bensa and that's now diligence all in be ye quaggy not chinit lehey yajnit le con the yait up a nil soit our code nahal chin late which a yield till it needs so ye lay which a yield till it hot edole. The sheep ain't edoti nene eight and le code. Hashine dila code general. Ni kede kona nata leni code and hachin lenigi baby ganada hatot le ha hold jisho kaigi hata deed ego to be ultra lenigi here nada eat lado le which another well jishin le atanada ilte con general we get shin hashine large nahachin here way nada ultra dole jonogo yat koshi nada itoltra and the inada hol dole haba nada hoshijo nal sos elini baby like nada as lole dit edole sa anage pike hojo be tiba khago shi what ayeta edole hashne dit edole tien leni hojon ye kode jonogo ha de shin kon bebe ta hat elzantole yeni tan ta yeni nat ani nan ple dole dishi abdi nenle hashne ebe het ego ye kode sana ge hojon do tidle hetan le dole ton de neshitan lo kon yode tras ebe khai and the de kode e in jonogo ebe tras pike ta hat le dole Hujado listen the shon the shnaha tosha da ana kosne snede hujon nahasli hujon nahasli hujon nahasli hujon nahasli hujon nahasli.
Yeah, shida. As we near the conclusion of our commencement, please remain in your seat until all the graduates and administrators have exited. Shiche, Mr. Redhouse.
Sing NTU song. Our NTU song that I composed some years ago when I was employed here. Shati ashiye biyaste shenahat aiye behujon nashanga sheye nashanga sheye nashanga sheye nashanga sheye nasha behujon nasha yang yang ashiye biyaste sheina iye behujon nashanga sheye nashanga sheye nashanga sheye nashanga sheye nasha behujon nasha yang yang nahu konsiye beyashte shesi haseniye behujon nashanga sheye nashanga sheye nashanga sheye nashanga sheye nasha behujon nasha yang yang sheye nashanga sheye nashanga sheye nashanga sheye nasha behujon nasha yang yang.
Yeah, Mr. Redhouse. This ends our commencement for the Master's Degree Ceremony 2021. Thank you, family, friends. We appreciate it. The congratulatory will be outside, and then we will have refreshments in the lobby. Thelma.